So this video actually falls into two categories. It's a how-to video and it's a numbered vlog. So let's go ahead and roll the thing for how-to videos.
Punk.
God, I love that. That might be one of the best things I've ever created, not just in video making, but in life in general. This is also going to be a numbered vlog, so let's go ahead and roll the thing for that. Hey guys, Sean here. So as I mentioned in last week's video, which was number 100, there's going to be some changes around here, and one of the things that I am changing is going to be the end screen at the end of all of my videos. Now I don't remember exactly which video it was where I ended up presenting a new end screen. In fact, I could probably tell you right now because it's one of the few how-to videos that I've made. So let's check my playlist here. 28? It would have been 28, most likely. So go ahead, click on this card right here. You can watch number 28 where I make the end screen that I've been using to this day. I believe there might be some changes that I've done to it over the time since then, but it's pretty much exactly the same as when I first made it. Now there is one major thing that I need to change in that end screen because of changes that YouTube has made to people like me. I'll explain that in a second. So interesting little side note, this is actually my second time recording everything from this point forward because in a second I'm going to switch to a new scene here in OBS and I forgot to put the microphone in that scene. So there was no audio recording from this point forward when I did it all before. So that's a lot of fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and move over to my desktop here and make sure that there is in fact a microphone being recorded. Yes, there is. So here we have my old end screen, and a variation of this has appeared at the end of all of my videos since video number 28. Now I say a variation because I believe originally it just had previous video in the center, and then they made some changes to the things that you can add to an end screen, and so I had to fix it up a little bit and make it more fancy. But this is pretty much how it has been for like 50 videos at this point. So at the end of every video right here, the previous video will pop up. So in the case of this video, which is 101, video number 100 will pop up in this section right here. And then over here, the latest video will pop up. So let's say that you're watching video number 75 right now. At the end of that video, the latest video would pop up. So in that case, this video right now, number 101, would pop up. Now if you happen to be watching the latest video, then when you reach the latest video at the end, it will actually show the second latest video. But in this case as well, because since I always select the previous video as the previous video, it will actually show the video 2 before that, because it's not going to show video number 100 in the previous video and then also show it in the latest video, since technically that would be the one that it would show if I didn't have it in the previous video. So it's actually really smart about those sorts of things. But that's really only a situation that lasts about a week, and then after that there's always something else that will appear in the latest video section. Next up here, a circular version of my YouTube avatar will appear here and act as a subscribe button. Now, if you're watching this on the actual YouTube website, at all times in my videos, there is also a little square that appears down here in the corner that also acts as a subscribe button. But on the mobile version, that little square doesn't exist, and so it's good to have at the end of the video a channel branded subscribe button that appears at the end. So that's why it's good to have this as well. Now the entire reason that I'm making changes to this end screen is because of this square right here. Now you see, when I originally started making videos, you could become a YouTube partner and get AdSense and all of that stuff just by signing up for it. And one of the benefits of that was you were able to put a custom URL that you could put on videos. And that was one of the things that you could do on the end screen, is you could put a button here that would load to a custom URL. So in my case, I made it my Patreon page. However, since they made the changes in the last however many months that they made it, where you have to reach a certain requirement in order to become a YouTube partner and get AdSense and have access to that specific thing, you can't do it anymore. So for however many videos, I've had this blank square here that is just there for no reason. And the reason I have left it there was that I was like, well, eventually I will get YouTube partner again, and then I will go back and I'll be able to just put the Patreon square in there and then make the Patreon button. But the way things have been going and just like how they've been shaking out, it seems like that's probably not gonna happen for quite some time. So really, it's time to just get rid of that square, because nothing's gonna go in there for who knows how long. And besides, there's a link to the Patreon down below anyway, so we don't necessarily need it there at this time. So let's go ahead, find that square. I believe it is this one right here. Let's turn it off, turn it on. Yes, it is that one. And delete it, because we don't need it anymore. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open the file here and grab this Patreon logo here. And we will select all, copy it, and paste it over here. Let's go ahead and move it above the Twitter icon in layers. And while we're at it, we will change the name of it to Patreon. And put it over the Twitter logo. Select edit, free transform, and hold down the shift key so that it changes it uniformly. And that's about the same size. So there we go. Now the Patreon logo is the same size as all of the other social media logos. And we will move it over here. And as you see, it makes these purple lines. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that it'll show that it is lined up with the square at the top on the side, and then with the Twitter logo across the top. And now we will select all of the other social media icons and move them over. And one of the neat things that Photoshop does now is when I get close enough, there you go, you'll see it shows that it is the same distance between the Patreon logo and the Twitter logo as all of the others are. So it's matched uniformly. And now we will move the @ShayBraven, because that is my handle on all of these social media sites. And we'll center it. You can see there that there's a line that shows up that shows that that image is now centered with all of the other things. And so yeah, there you have it. I hope that comes across. You see, I took that from Grace Helbig's end screen, where she just had all of the social media logos, and then she just had @Grace Helbig underneath it, kind of indicating that you can find her on all of the social medias @Grace Helbig. And I hope that comes, I mean, it came across to me watching her videos, so I hope that comes across to people watching my videos, that that's what that means, that if you go to any of these social media sites and you type in @ShayBraven or just ShayBraven, if it doesn't have an @ in it, then you can find me. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, the ShayBraven Facebook page I don't actually use at all. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just delete that from here, because I don't really care about Facebook. So for now, I'm just gonna get rid of that. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it as well, I don't really use Snapchat that much either, so I think I'm gonna delete that as well. Now, in all honesty, I don't really use Tumblr that much anymore either. So I should probably get rid of that as well. However, I think I probably should use Tumblr more. I don't know if people actually still use Tumblr that often, But I enjoyed using Tumblr when I was using it, so I think I'm just gonna leave it there for now and try to get back to using Tumblr every now and then. But as far as I'm concerned, Facebook is pretty much dead, and Snapchat, once Instagram added filters and stories, Snapchat, there was no reason to go on Snapchat anymore. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save this as a JPEG. So we will go to JPEG, and we'll save it as 001 so that if we end up making more changes to it down the line, we can version it up as we go. So we will save that. Now let's jump into Premiere, and then I'm just going to grab a clip from a previous video just so that it saves the aspect ratio that I want for this. That's better than me touching my nose. We'll have the image of me making a weird face instead of me just touching my nose, which was kind of bizarre. And now we will look for end screen JPEG. Is this one? Yeah. So it's this one, and then we will go ahead and ripple delete that. Okay, so now we need to resize it because it doesn't fit the size of my default aspect ratio that I use. So we'll do that in a second. But now we need to make it at least 25 seconds long so we can actually apply an end screen to this. And so now we have this video that is the end screen, and we will export it, match sequence setting, and export. Since it's only 25 seconds long, it will not take very long to do. Okay, so now that's rendered, and we'll go into YouTube, make a private video, and select the one that we just made. And it's going to take about 3 minutes to upload and process, so what should we do till then? There's not a lot of table space. Okay, so now it's ready, so I should be able to go into it and add end screen to it. And since I put the raw footage from a previous video on there already, it should match the aspect ratio that I use for all videos, so I should be able to import. Yes, so as you can see, I can import the previous ones and it throws it on there automatically. And now if I scroll over, you will see that here it has the previous one. And this is what I do for every video. I just import it from the previous one, and then all I need to do is change what the previous video is for. So for in the case of this video that you're watching, I would need to change it to 101, and then we can just do a preview and it'll show you. And now here you can see what I was talking about before. So here is video 100 because that is what I selected to go there. And then here it shows the latest video, and as I said before, it won't show 100, which technically would be the latest video. It shows the one before that. And then here, as I was saying, there is the subscribe little square that is in the bottom of all of them. Like if we go all the way to here, that remains there. And normally the play and all that isn't here, so if I play it, you can see. Why am I doing it that way? Because I can't. Yeah, because if I move the mouse over it, it goes up. So now there is the two, as I was saying. There's the subscribe here, and then the subscribe here. But if we go to a video on the iPhone, you can see there's just the subscribe. There isn't the little square in the corner. So that's all good. The way it's all laid out is good. Everything looks good. Now, we gotta go back and change that one thing that I was talking about. So let's go ahead, close this, and then we are going to open my resized one. This is the one that I've been using up to this point. So let's copy it. Well, no, let's select all, copy it, and paste it. So there you see, that's the size that it normally is, to where if I throw this into my videos, I don't need to resize this and shrink it down. So I need to make the new one the same size as this one. So let's throw this in the corner, bring it to the top, and select everything else. Go to Edit, Free Transform, and shrink it down until it's the same size. Now we'll grab the selection square and select this and crop it so it gets rid of all that extra space. And now we will select the magnifying glass and fit it on screen. So now it's the same size as the old one. Now the last thing that I'm noticing here is the JPEG of the old end screen, and then here's the new one that I built off of the actual Photoshop files of that JPEG. But apparently I didn't have the Photoshop files of this JPEG when I made the drop shadows in it, because they are missing from this. So I need to add the drop shadows back in. So let's select all the things and then duplicate them. So now we have duplicates of all of them, and then we'll merge them all together. So there should be duplicates of all those things. If we bring up this new one that is a duplicate of all of them, then yes, they all do appear. So we have made duplicates of all these things. So we want to bring this to the bottom, and then use the magic wand tool, which we are on, and inverse the selection so that it will select all of the items. And then we will use the paintbrush. That is not the paintbrush. Here we go. We will use the paintbrush, and we'll make some ridiculously large paintbrush so that it makes it much easier. And we'll just color all this stuff in black. And now we can bring back up all these things. And now we will move it all like so. Let's check what this looks like, see how far it goes. A little bit more. So there you go. Now they all have a drop shadow, but they're really dark. So we want to drop the opacity on this down so that it looks a little bit more natural as a shadow, as opposed to just a black square behind it. So now we shall save this as a JPEG. Now, if I go into Premiere and I look for end screen 1 resized here, then this should be the correct size for this. And it is. So I don't need to resize it or anything, so that's good. And so now we're just going to go into the folder here, and we're just going to take all the things that we don't really need so much anymore. So really it's just end screen number 1 is all we need still. And we'll just throw it all into this old folder. And so now this has just all the old stuff in it. We don't need this anymore either. So now when I am editing, I can just go end slide, and it's right there. It's the first thing, and I don't need to bother trying to find it. And it's the perfect size, and life is much easier as a result. And so there you have it. There's my new end screen going forward, and who knows how long I'll end up using it. I might end up changing it some more, but if I do, I'm not going to make a video about that. The main point of this video was I wanted to explain why there was that empty square in the corner, and then also it had been so long since I'd done a how-to that I'm like, I'll just do a how-to for it. Plus I wanted to try out OBS and using the camera and my desktop to see how that worked out. So I think that worked out really well too. So if I ever need to do videos that involve using my desktop, I can do that very easily now using OBS. But that's going to do it for this video. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. The like button's not right there. It's way over there now. So somewhere way over there and below, hit the like button. It's a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe. Well, here, hit the subscribe button at the end of the video. It'll be right there, the subscribe button for you. And while we're here, if you'd like to see the previous video, you can click on that one right there. If you'd like to see the latest video, you can click on that one right there. And if you'd like to help support the crazy crap that goes on around here, you can hit me up on my Patreon. I would say click on that, but as I explained, you can't click on that. But there is a link to my Patreon down below. And with that, have a good however long it is until you watch my next video.